Rosemary rosmarinus is all we are talking about today. It is such an easy plant to grow, yet very many people have successfully dried up their plants. In this video, we cover the entire journey of rosemary from propagation, care, harvesting, drying to storage. Let's dive into it. In this method, you'll need fresh sprigs of rosemary, either harvested from your garden or bought from the store. You'll need well-fertilized soil. You can use a mix of 60% garden soil and 40% compost. You'll need disposable glasses in even numbers. You'll need stones. You'll need something to poke holes in the disposable glasses. And of course, you'll need water. So we are going to take half the number of our disposable glasses. Remember we said even, and fill it with stones to quarter way, and then put water to up to around halfway. And then we shall take the other half of the disposable glasses and poke holes in them and put in our fertilized soil. 4 glasses that have water and stones do not have holes, and then the other 4 have holes at the bottom. These 4 glasses that do not have holes at the bottom are going to act as our water source for our plants, such that they are watered at all time. After that, we are going to get our sprigs of rosemary and cut about 4 inches. We only need the soft part, because if you plant the hard part, it will take long to root and then it will rot before it actually roots. So that soft part, we are going to remove 1 inch of the leaves at the bottom, and then we are going to put them in our soil that we prepared, and we are going to place the disposable cups in the ones that have water, so that the plant will sip water from the bottom by capillary. And all you need to do is to keep this glass that has water with water all the time. So you do not need to water every day, but you watch out. When the water goes below the level of the disposable glass that is up, then you have to add water. You're going to place these glasses, this setup that you've made, in a sunny spot. And just like that, you keep taking care of your plant. After about a month, this plant will have developed roots, and you'll need to transfer it to a bigger space where it is going to grow. After planting, take note also, these sprigs, they are going to bend over. They are going to be affected and bend over, but that is okay. When they start sipping the water from down after a week or so, they will become upright again. If you live in the tropics like me, rosemary will need very little care, especially if it's planted in the garden and it is mulched properly. But if it's in a container, then you will need to water every now and then. Make sure that the plant dries out between waterings, because when you overwater the plant, the roots rot, and this causes the plant to dry out. Pruning rosemary plants is also very, very important. If you do not prune your plant, it becomes sort of leggy, leaving the bottom bare. The bottom part becomes woody, like you see, and then the lush green only remains on the top of the plant. And eventually, your plant will keep going like that and it will dry out completely. This plant has become woody from the bottom. I would like to revive it. So I am going to go to the top and prune it. But when I'm pruning it, I'll be careful not to prune a lot of it. I'll leave some of the vegetation such that new branches start forming from below. So I'm going to cut off around a third of the plant and leave the rest of the plant to continue growing. After cutting off around a third of the plant, I'll keep watering it since we are in a dry season until it brings up new shoots. Then I will leave those new shoots to grow before I cut it down again until the bottom part of the plant is totally revived. At this point, I would also like to note that when you're pruning your plant, make sure that you do not over prune the plant. leave it with some vegetation, leave it with some green, because if you cut it off all completely, it will not have any way of creating food, so it will die out. As you prune, be careful that you do not over prune, do not overdo it. I mentioned that I'm in the tropics, and there rosemary needs very little care. We do not experience extreme conditions of weather, but in places where your weather is too cold, you may have to protect your rosemary or bring it inside. In places where it is too hot, much as it tolerates dry conditions, ensure that your rosemary is well watered. The way rosemary grows, its leaves are on its stem. So every time you cut it, these leaves grow into new branches and they become bigger. So every time you do that, you deprive it of its ability to grow better. So what we do when we are harvesting rosemary, we cut the branches. You keep cutting the branches. You can choose to trim it to a shape. And when you cut the branches, the leaves that you leave will develop into new branches. Like you see when you look at this branch here, I cut it at this point and then it developed many more. 1, 2, 3 more branches at that same point. This point where you've cut is going to develop more branches. Remember, whether you're pruning or harvesting, you do not remove more than a third of the plant. Otherwise, the plant will dry out. After harvesting our rosemary, we are going to tie it into smaller batches in order to be able to air dry it. We tie it in batches that can easily allow air to go through it. And after tying them, you're going to hang them upside down, preferably in a dark place. But even if you do not have a dark place, hang them upside down and they will dry out. If you have a few sprigs, you may not need to tie them. You may just need to place them either on a tray or somewhere where they can be well aerated, and place them in your kitchen or in a place in your house. I have here a batch that I just placed on the counter because there were a few sprigs that I had harvested, and it has dried out really well. When you see the rosemary begin to become crunchy to the touch, you know that it is dry. And when it is dry, you put it off the stem, and then you can use your rosemary. Then you can store it in jars. I do store mine in repurposed jars like this and store away in a dark place. It is not good to expose herbs to light when you're storing them. So a dark place would be good if you want to store your herbs for a longer time. So after this, you can either grind to powder at leisure, or you can use your rosemary like this, and you can make things like extract. You can use your rosemary in food. You can use your rosemary as medicine. You can put it in your skincare products, in your hair products, and many ways that you can use your rosemary. Thank you for watching.